So all of a sudden, when AI video generation popped up, I was able to tell a story without being chosen by the client, without being chosen by the agency,
Mhm.
without being under pressure of a crew or a producer. I could finally just tell a story the way I wanted it to be and the way I envisioned this story to unfold. And that still is very, very empowering. And I really, really love telling my stories completely freely.
Hello, welcome to zero1cast, a place where humans create and machines dream. This is the first episode of our podcast. We receive great Martin Haerlin, the guy who do this with his hand and change his video. He used a lot of Gen1 of Runway, and yeah, we had a really nice conversation with him. We talk about many topics of AI, filmmaking, and industry ethics and stuff like that. I'm here with my co-anchor, Mauricio Tonon. So, Mauricio, what do you thought about this conversation?
Yeah, thanks, Odair. I think Martin is an amazing, super good vibes guy. So I think the talk was quite inspiring, and his experience of the whole industry of filmmaking is gigantic. 17 years of experience in the advertising industry definitely brings a lot of great information and a good time talk for us to share with all you.
Cool. So let's stop the blah 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 and let's go for the episode. I hope you enjoy. Hello and welcome to zero1cast, the first episode of our podcast where we want to talk about AI, mostly AI filmmaking, um, interview people who is working with AI, doing cool things. There's many talented people in this community. We want to talk to them, know more about them. So my name is Odair. I'm Brazilian, and I started this project around 1 month and a half ago, the Zero One Cine, um, which is basically a curated database of AI movie. And I just quickly had some motivations why I started this project. I'm on Twitter, right, on X, and every week or almost every day, I was seeing some new talented people emerging, doing like really nice videos, and I was really impressed with the amount of good work being done. And now, before it was every week, now it's every day, like some really nice video or something popping up. And I was really impressed. And I said, okay, there's a lot of talented people here, and they need a place to live. These videos need a place to live. They are spread around X, around YouTube, around Vimeo. So that's one of my most motivations, biggest motivation with this project. And yeah, it's from the community to the community. I'm an AI filmmaker myself, also a Runway creative partner. So I also shout out to Runway to support my work. And yeah, that's basically it. This Zero One is a project moved by passion, not by money. And yeah, I spoke already too much. Let's start. So I will hand over here to my co-anchor of this podcast, which is also Brazilian, Mauricio Tonon. Mauricio, the mic is yours.
Thanks, Odair. Yeah, welcome everybody. I'm Mauricio Tonon, as he just presented me, and I'm also an AI filmmaker and AI expert. I've been 2 years into the AI world, capacitating companies into this new technology, collaborating with companies like Domestic and Awards, create courses to teach people. So I'm really interested in democratize AI to the masses, and I don't think in a better way than to talk with super talented uh, filmmakers as our first guest, Martin Haerlin. Welcome, Martin. Can you present yourself to the people here?
Thank you so much. My name is Martin Haerlin. I'm a commercial director. I shoot commercials. And in 2023, I started to dive into AI video creating. And I've been down this rabbit hole for months now, and I barely leave my room. I spend my whole life in front of my computer creating videos. And this brought me here to this podcast. So thank you very much for inviting me.
Okay, it's honor to have you here, Martin. We are all like I told you on Twitter a few times. I really like your vibe and your like good vibes and your videos. And I was also talking to I think your video was one of the first that I saw that went viral with the clicks. And I think it was one of the first that I saw. Oh, this is cool. Like what this guy is doing here, like how he's doing that, which tools he's using. I think was one of the first ones that I saw on Twitter. Like, and yeah, so it's an honor to have you here as our first guest. Again, thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
And let's start with some questions. So, Martin, before talking about AI, let's talk about a bit the world before AI. So, who is the Martin before AI? What you did? What was your routine? How does this change? But talk a bit your person, your world, your routine before AI, and then we're gonna start to talk about AI, and we will move on.
Very nice. Okay, so basically, I've been shooting commercials for 17 years. I've shot for many big brands like Volkswagen, McDonald's, Mercedes-Benz, Coca-Cola. And this is a lot of fun. And I like working on brands. I like storytelling. And maybe if we come back to AI later, this is something which I think is very important if you want to create something that is exciting for the people to watch, no matter if it is a regular old school shoot or an AI film. And besides being a commercial director, I'm a father of three teenage kids together with my wife. We live in Berlin, and I'm a volunteer swim teacher for the Black community in Berlin as well. So
That's cool.
between these three worlds and AI on top, I try to find my way.
True magician.
Really
Yes.
cool. Really cool, Martin. Thank you. So yeah, so how did you felt when your first video got viral?
Oh, that was very exciting and very scary. The thing is, I posted this one on my Instagram and it got like 20 likes, and 10 of these likes came from my family. So nothing basically happened when I put it out myself. And then after a couple of days, one guy, a very nice man, approached me in the Runway Discord and asked me if he can post it on LinkedIn, which he did. And then it blew up on LinkedIn, but I didn't realize it until
Okay.
friends of mine texted me saying, "Hey, you're all over LinkedIn." By that time, I didn't even have an account on LinkedIn. So I checked LinkedIn and I was blown away that it was, I think, shared 1,000 times and it was watched and rewatched. And then it got even stranger. Somebody put it on Twitter, publishing it that this video was done by Stable Diffusion, which was wrong. It was done with Runway. And that was why I think Cristobal from Runway picked it up and pushed it to let people understand, no, this was done with Runway using our platform.
Yeah.
So this mistake kind of ignited the Twitter booster, I think. By that time, I had a Twitter account I have not used in 2 years, and I didn't have a LinkedIn account. So when the video blew up, it was very, very exciting and at the same time very, very scary because I didn't know what would the people say. I just had the feeling that maybe they were reluctant with AI or they were haters of AI. But I have to say, until today, I think I have had 99.9% positive feedback and only a very, very small amount of negative feedbacks. It's really been very pleasant and very, very beautiful creating works that people resonate with.
That's awesome. That's really interesting. Like destiny working out for things to happen. It's amazing
Yes.
story. Amazing story, man.
Yeah.
Do you remember what was the first AI piece that like make you have interest in the technology? What make you, oh, I should test that, should put my toes on this new thing?
Yes, I definitely very, very much remember it. It was Cat Spy from Christian Fleischer, another German AI creator. And I saw this in April. I was blown away. I thought this is the most amazing thing I've seen for years. And that was the moment I instantly knew I have to do this. AI is going to be so big. AI video generating is going to be so big. I was instantly convinced that this is going to be the way.
Nice, nice, really interesting. Yeah, let's start tapping into the AI world a little bit. In what ways you think that AI has influenced or changed your approach to the storytelling of movies, especially, and to the whole filmmaking process?
Oh, well, I can say it's very empowering for me personally because the advertising industry works that an advertising agency asks like 3, 4, 5 directors to shoot a commercial. So all these directors, they pitch for getting the job. Obviously, only one gets the job awarded and then shoots the film. The other 4 or 3 or 5, they don't get the job. But they were pitching for it. They were writing a pitch deck, a treatment on how they would create the film, envision the film. So all of a sudden, when AI video generation popped up, I was able to tell a story without being chosen by the client, without being chosen by the agency, without being under pressure of a crew or a producer. I could finally just tell a story the way I wanted it to be and the way I envisioned the story to unfold. And that still is very, very empowering. And I really, really love telling my stories completely freely.
So this brought me some question now. So are you, for example, right now, are you using AI to send a storyboard or to send a preview or how the commercial will look like or something like that? Are you using it as a tool also to pitch your work now or not?
Yes, what I love to do is, for example, I love to create GIFs with AI tools. This works very well in Pika or with Photoshop Generative Fill. You can create GIFs, and these GIFs I incorporate in my treatments to make them more lively, to make them more colorful, or to previs some scenes. I don't really pre-visualize too much for the film itself. The closer I get to the original script with my generations, the more the client or the advertising agency expected to be that way later on during the shoot. So I'm trying to be a little bit more abstract or little bit more exaggerated, so they understand I'm working with references and not with accurate predictions the film would be looking like.
All right. So yeah, well, let's talk a bit about Gen1. You are known as just Gen1 King. Maybe you don't know that, but otherwise we just saying now you are.
Thanks so much. I'm a royal
I think
person
it's one
now.
of our main skills and your signature, right? The Gen1. So yeah, like how did you start it? How long it took to do, for example, your first video? Or I know maybe your latest video took a bit more, is it longer, but like how did you start? Or say no, we'll play with Gen1 first. Like how does this happen? And yeah, how it's your workflow? I know that also your wife shoots you around the streets of Berlin, right? So tell us a bit more about Gen1.
That was really fun. I actually wore her beanie on the last film, the blue beanie I wore. It's hers, and yeah, it was freezing cold, and I was really glad she took it with her. So, but yeah, Gen1. When I started generating videos, there simply was no Pika. There simply was no Gen2. Gen2 was only a closed beta, and only very few people had access to it. Among them were Christian Fleischer, but I wasn't among them. Runway did have no clue that I was there using their platform because I was a little bit late to the party, I think, in April or May. So the only tool available by that time was Gen1. And I started to restyle my videos and which I shot my films. And I quickly realized, okay, if you want to have a good result, you have to be close to the camera. You have to use a selfie framing because then the algorithm understands easily what is in front of the camera. And I think this made my first Gen1 videos more convincing maybe than other Gen1 videos because it's still that way. If you are too far away from the camera in Gen1 videos, it does not work very convincing. So you have to take some things into consideration when working with Gen 1. And I think the reason why it worked was that I was telling a funny story. Back in May or April, not many storytellers were part of the AI world. It changed now, and it's changing even more. There's more and more very, very good storytellers coming to this scene. But back in May, I think it was more of showcasing single clips. So I was lucky that I was putting together these clips with a certain funny little story.
That's awesome. That's incredible. Yeah, and that's a great tip that I didn't notice, like closest to the camera thing on Gen 1. It's a great one for sure,
Yeah,
for
yeah, yeah.
sure. It helps a lot. Man, one of the things that I like most about your work is your ideas itself, your creativity. Even before the AI and filmmaking layer be put in there, is already something special happening. Can you share with us a little bit about your idea and conceptualization process? And like, what tip do you have for someone that wants to enhance their creativity or practice more their creativity?
Oof, it's very difficult to explain it. I think the most important thing is you have to start with an attitude of playing, which sounds so cheesy. I'm really sorry for not being more specific, but I think this is the most important thing. My last film, 2024, which I published a couple of days ago. I knew that I wanted to create a positive message. I knew I wanted to be, yeah, I knew I wanted to put a smile on people's face because it was my own feeling that the year started very badly and that it was quite a sinister time if I'm looking at the news. So my instant idea was let's do something positive and let's do something which will cheer myself up
Yeah.
because I needed it. And I think this is maybe a place where you can start, something where you think this is something that I'm interested in. And then it's I think the most important thing is you just start playing around and I have a very simple um maybe evaluator where I realize I'm onto something nice is when I want to show my generations mid during generating to my family. Then I know, okay, this is something good. If I'm generating things and I'm like, this is okay, but I don't want to show it, I know this is not going to work. But in 2024, nearly every shot I generated made me smile, and I wanted to show it to my family. And they, after a while, they stopped smiling because they saw it over and over. But I knew this is something worth sticking to.
Mhm. Mhm. Makes sense. I have a really similar approach to music. Like, I do the music that I want to hear and it's not out there, so I do it for
Yes,
myself,
yes. I
and
think
Yeah,
then
and
that's
to
a
be honest,
great
yeah.
comparison.
Also, this project, this website I created a website that I wanted to find when I look for it, and I didn't found it because I think I'm just adding this because it's related to the topic. I'm also with this with music and everything, but like one morning, this was like 2 months ago. So the website is online 1 month and a half ago. Was around 3 months ago. I woke up a Saturday morning and I put on Google like AI movie database because I was looking for one AI movie database and I
Yeah.
couldn't find anything. Like there was some friend doing some like Notion page or something like that, but like really like manual as well. And I found some IMDb lists of like Hollywood movies which talk about AI, like Ex Machina and stuff like that. And I was like first page of Google, second page of Google, third page, and I couldn't find. And okay, no one did it. I will do it. I will build it. And I basically like build a website like overnight works and like I built it. But just want to say that I built what I wanted to find when
Yes.
I looked for it, kind.
Yes, yes, perfect. And this is so nice. You listen to music, you just work, you're in a flow. It's such a nice state of mind. I love it. You,
Mhm.
you're telling a story, or you're creating a song, or you're creating a website, and you see that things come to life. And this is so rewarding.
Yeah, talking about
Uh,
flow, this is also
yeah,
something that catched me on this AI move filming, because when I was doing first, I did a music video for my band, and then I did some like the Santa strip was like this 3 minute animation for the Curious Refuge, and like, but I was on this deep flow again, after like quite some time of like crafting the mid journey and then going to runway and doing like thousands of images and thousands of, but I was such in a deep flow state again,
yes,
which is really relieving, right? I think
yeah,
you can anything that you do with your whole body and mind and attention, you get into this, right? Can be
yeah,
dancing, can be playing, can be
yeah,
swimming, can be walking, can be
exactly.
anything where you're totally present. But I found myself working on this AI works for like 6 hours, maybe, even without eating or something, and like,
Yeah,
and what the fuck, like it's already 6 p.m., like,
yeah,
and I really enjoy it to be on this flow, and I involve my girlfriend on the Santa strip, because like we have girlfriends or wives. Now it's AI here, AI there. Look at this,
yeah,
look at
yeah,
that, and then I say,
yeah,
okay, I will involve. So I involve her on the script writing with me, which basically I wrote the script on the bus from Prague to Berlin. I had 4 hours and I said, okay, I will write the
Ah,
script in
nice.
4 hours. And she was seated close to me. So we were writing together. I was asking her feedback and, okay, what Santa should bring to the ancient Rome's and what she should bring to Buddha. So all of this was written, was not like ChatGPT, but
Yeah,
I
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
involved her. And when we were in Berlin during the morning, I woke up and I was like prompting and doing, and she was like, what are you doing? And I say like, I need to make a proof of concept. I need to know, I need to make like 30 seconds or something to see if this thing gonna work. Ah, okay. And then I was like, but how do you do it? And then she, in the end, so she also recorded the voice of the characters with me and everything. And then she was, yeah, this AI thing you're doing is quite fun. I quite like
Nice.
it. Yeah.
Very nice.
It was
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love this state of mind. I love this flow. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Really cool.
So
And I think
Mauricio, you can
pairing it
go.
with music is a great analogy. I think it's pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like all the examples we see, we is end up being people that, are happy with what they're doing usually in
Yeah.
this state of mind. Really, really reinforce that. Um, let's talk a little bit about some workflows. Uh, can you tell us about what was your process to produce a movie before AI and then after AI? What is the main differences that you feel? And if there's something that you miss from the pre-AI era that you like to incorporate on the AI workflows and something like that?
Well, there is quite many similarities when I look at how I was shooting film and now how I'm generating AI films. For example, if you shoot a scene with people and you direct them and you ask them to be, I don't know, happy or sad or entertaining or convincing, um, you end up dealing with the human factor. And this is something you don't have control over the scene. You maybe get close to what you have in mind, or maybe you don't get it. And this is something I more or less encounter when I, for example, generate images in Midjourney. You have something in mind and you want to have something specific, but then the machine, the algorithm brings in their influences, their ideas, and then you maybe you're still on your track, but maybe you reached your goal on a different path. You have something you like, but you didn't expect it to turn out that way. And this is pretty the same when you shoot a film, a commercial. It's always nice to work on something which unfolds in a very unexpected way. And I think this is with AI pretty much the same. And I mean, shooting a commercial, shooting a film is something you have a team with you. And I still feel the same with the AI community. I think it's a very supportive community. I'm blown away by this friendly, supportive exchange of thoughts and ideas and approaches you can get online. You can ask something. There's Twitter, and then there is the Discord service. I had a problem with 11 Labs Saturday night at 11 p.m. and 15 minutes later, somebody from the Discord answered my problem. It's amazing. I mean, there is a lot of teamwork there. It's obviously different because you don't really see the people, but there's a great spirit of community there as well.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Did I answer your question? I'm sorry. I think I was taken away.
No. I think it answers perfectly. Yeah.
Don't worry, it's not about answering the questions. It's just about
Yeah, it's a good conversation, I think. Quite quite great. It's good to know that it's actually quite similar, you know.
Yeah.
I worked many years ago in advertising, doing some movies as art director, but I
Mhm.
take care just of the art direction part, so never had to do the whole movie planning and production and everything before. So for me, it was quite something quite new.
Mhm.
But it's interesting to see that the technology is just a tool in the end, right? It's just a new.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And there's more. I mean, when I was shooting a film, one take was never perfect throughout the whole take. There was always 1 second which worked, or maybe 2 seconds, but the rest was not usable. And it's pretty much the same with generating a clip in Pika or Runway. You have 4 seconds, and don't expect the 4 seconds to be perfect from the first to the last frame. So I
Mhm.
think this is just some learnings. If you work with these filmmaking tools, you bring to the AI world and you start to understand that there's the same rules apply here as well, more or less.
sometimes I have this feeling of casino. Because you
Yeah,
know this casino psychology, this because like we go there and we prompt and like what this thing gonna get me, you know, and then you're there
yeah,
waiting and
rolling the
your
dice.
reward. Okay, no, it's not this. That's not, and I think this also helps keep on the flow, right? Because we takes this and sometimes it go even farther than we expected, but yeah, sometimes I have this casino feeling that we prompt
Yeah,
and we
yeah.
are waiting for the reward and we keep playing this game in some way, you know, this game psychology in some way.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Martin, what do you think are the bad things that AI brings to production companies and the movie industry in general, like and the good ones? Like, I think if we talk about the good and bad sides of AI for the world, we'll stay here for 1 week
Yeah,
talking.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So maybe we can maybe try to focus on the film or production or advertisement. Like, what is the good and the bad sides for you?
Well, the bad side is that I think again we're gonna have an amazing technology where not everybody has access to. I think we are in a bubble in our European or US, Western European bubble. I think I have not seen too many African creators yet. I think we need to make sure, if we can, that more people have access to this technology, that they can make their voices heard. I think it's the great upside is that now you can generate a whole film, a whole commercial, or you can tell a story you want to tell without gatekeepers. But I think it's really important to make this technology available for more people whose voices have not been heard yet, um, loud and clear. So I think this is one of the downsides from my side. At the same time, I have been following the writer's strike in the US. Um, I have a very, what to say, I have a very nuanced view in a way about this writer strike. I completely understand that there have to be regulations in how AI can be incorporated in the use or in the making of a film. And I
100%.
completely understand that scanning a person and then using this person until the end of time as an extra in the background sounds very scary. And this has to be regulated. At the same time, if I look at extras in Germany, the way we work with extras, this is not an art form. This is not something where I think something very important is vanishing. This is a nice side job, but not a craft you learn. So I know it's different in the US. I know in the US, as a talent, you have to start as an extra first. I know they have a different definition of being an extra, But if I'm talking about extras in a German way, the way we work with extras, it's just a side job. And it's nothing where I can say, if this is vanishing, something really important is missing in the film industry.
Mhm.
And at the same time, I I think 40 years ago, there was not 100,000 orcs fighting for real in Middle Earth in the Lord of the Rings. It was already crowd duplicate, a very basic effect being used. And now this effect is being perfected through AI. So again, these effects have always been part of storytelling. These tools have always been part of storytelling in Hollywood and all over the world.
Good point.
And I think we definitely need regulations and laws, but we cannot say we don't use this technology.
Mhm. Mhm.
Perfect.
100%.
Yeah, this will start to connect on my next question, which is about ethics. But
Yeah,
I just want to shout out. I think what you're saying about the inclusion and diversity, it's very important aspect
yeah,
of this. I truly hope that, like you said, now I think for me there is many layers, right? I think this is really big. What's happening? I think even us don't have the size of this. Even we inside the
yeah,
bubble, it's like we'll be beyond we think we can imagine, I think. But I think there's it's really like a revolution happening some way. uh, and I think there's many layers of this, right? There's social layer, there is economical layer, there is
yes.
like political layer, there is many. And I was also talking to a friend recently, for example, like on the country we came from, Brazil. When you have a right government, there's just no money for cinema. It's like they cut everything, like
Yeah.
culture and everything. And when you have like a center left government, they have a lot of investments and packages for filmmakers and stuff. And when this two periods happened in Brazil, there was an explosion of great directors and great movies, and
Oh,
even like
interesting.
film movements. So
Mhm.
I think this is very interesting as well, that like it's not much more about the government giving you money to shoot movies, right? If they're
Yeah,
not on their interests. And also there's the gatekeeper, right? If you shoot some movie which is not nice for the government, they will like close it, or they will not allow it on the
shut it
cinema and
down.
stuff
Yeah,
like that. So I think there is many, many layers where this change, but it includes also political, social, and inclusive layers. And also would like to shout out to Dave Clark, that I don't know if he published his movie today, probably, or yesterday. It's called Borrowing Time. So he's an African American filmmaker, and
exactly.
it's
Yeah,
also
and
inspired by his dad, the story.
yeah,
So he had, and I think
amazing films.
this is really good. Like you take something personal, like, and mix,
Exactly.
even you can mix it with fiction and stuff. This is being done on literature for years, and now we are able to, again, I think being able to shoot our own movies. I
Yeah,
know the quality is still, yeah, but it's the worst we're gonna get. So here
yeah,
from
yeah, yeah.
up, and I think this, it's for me, it's really magical to we can shoot our own movies, right? Because it's was always an elite thing to
Yeah,
to shoot a movie and stuff. So it's
exactly.
really
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah,
So it touches a bit the ethical part.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
what are your ethical considerations, like what do filmmakers should keep in mind when using AI on their projects?
I mean, the most important thing is you have to respect intellectual property. I am I'm not I'm not I'm not copying or I'm not using existing footage. I'm creating new footage. I'm not into mimicking something existing. But at the same time, of course, I'm being influenced by things. I'm being
Mhm.
influenced by movies. I'm being influenced by books, by my family, by other AI creators. So there's always a certain um, un, unfelt way of copying things. So you're basically always maybe copying others without knowing. But I'm trying to limit this. I don't want to exploit other ideas. And I think this is something, when I look at Midjourney version 6, this is something very disturbing, which is now happening with Midjourney version 6, where you prompt something and you get the exact same image from Dune or from Star Wars or from a Marvel film, which looks like an exact copy. And I think this is not what AI is meant to be. It should create something new. It can quote the existing world, but what is happening with Midjourney version 6 now is it's getting so close to the original that that I think this is not what AI is meant to be.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Interesting points.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And I mean, true artists will not even want to do that, you know. They don't
Yeah,
want to copy other people. That's a
exactly,
good
exactly.
the first thing. So two questions pop up from what you just said. The first one is about what are your influences as a filmmaker and maybe as a person too?
Well, I think I'm heavily being influenced by commercials, other commercials, because I like this compressed storytelling where you
Mhm.
just have 30 seconds or 1 minute to tell a story, to make clear what it's about, and to be very precise. So I think most of my films are less than 1 minute, which makes it very hard for me to participate in any AI film competition. I think 2024 is my longest film now. It runs for 1 minute 25, and I think I'm gonna send it to the runway AIFF.
Mhm.
But so basically, I'm influenced by commercials, by the editing pace of commercials, by the colorfulness of commercials, and yeah, by the let's say in the best case, a very precise way of storytelling.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's nice. Yeah, I think advertising produces some amazing
Yeah.
pieces, some including emotional pieces that like
Yeah,
touch a lot of
exactly.
people, and the reach of it is quite incredible, right? Using a
Yeah.
brand to help spread messages, I think it's quite powerful.
Yeah.
Uh,
And I mean, I'm even more surprised if I see a film like you mentioned, the one from David
Dave.
Clark.
Mhm.
Yeah. Um, I think it's around 3 minutes, and it's an amazing film. I'm really impressed that you can create so captivating stories um, over that time span, because 3 minutes is an amazing time for me. I mean, yeah,
Mhm.
For these TikTok generations, like 1 hour maybe.
exactly. Yes,
But
exactly.
to be honest, I think AI will play also a role on this, because we are a bit older here, but like this
Yeah,
TikTok generation, right? And like swapping 10 seconds, 5 seconds,
exactly.
and I can see with like people from my family, nephews and stuff,
Yeah,
and even people from our generation as well. It's getting harder and harder to sit down your ass on the couch and watch even a
yeah, yeah,
movie of 2 hours, 1 hour and a half, or go to cinema. We are
exactly.
really getting used to these short format films,
Yeah,
but I think AI will play a big role on this because
yeah,
we are basically doing shorts, right? Like say 3, 5, maybe
yeah,
10, and I think it's aligned with the media that people are consuming more and more. Then this generation, when it grow up, it really use, so they will be entertained with the whole story in 3 minutes, or then or
exactly.
5 minutes, and I think it will be fine for them. So I
Yeah, yeah,
think this world and that or world will match in some way.
yeah. Yeah. Absolutely agreed. Absolutely agreed. I see it with my kids. I mean, they consume 100 times more clips than I consumed when I was their age. So there's um, a big amount of clips being consumed every day by teenagers all over the world. And I think this might be a good market maybe for us as an AI creator to create something um, or to become some kind of content creator for um, for this huge group of audiences.
Definitely, 100%. It's a great opportunity and
Yeah,
maybe opportunity to make great work and to like influence these people and with more
exactly.
deep in stories and storytelling
Yeah,
stories, for sure.
exactly.
Uh, do you like to work in like in a specific style, or you like to adapt depending on the script and idea you have? How do you define your personal style as a filmmaker a little bit?
Oh, well, it's I think it's constantly evolving. You see films of other AI creators, and I store them somewhere, and my folders on Twitter get bigger and bigger. And but the thing is, whenever I start some new film, then I'm starting to learn a new tool. And this is maybe something how I evaluate which tool in the constant flow of new tools I try to learn, if they make sense, if they are contributing to my workflow or enhance my workflow, then I'm starting to learn them. But basically, it's you understand one workflow as a creator, and for the next project, you want to challenge yourself, so you bring a new tool to the table.
Mhm.
And for example, what I really like is I generate an image in Midjourney, and then I bring it over to Photoshop, and then I change bits and pieces with generative fill, which is
Mhm.
very, very, very easy. Nothing is difficult.
Yeah.
And this is how I, for example, I did a lot of shots for my last film where I was generating a darker image in Midjourney, and then changing these bad or darker subjects to lighter ones, to positive ones. For example, a robot holding a laser gun. I generated this in Midjourney with a laser beam ray. Then I
Mhm.
transferred it over to Photoshop. I deleted the laser beam, and then I substituted the laser gun with a shopping bag or an
Mhm.
ice cream cone. And then I had three images, the one with the fully armed robot, the one with the robot just a gun, and the one with the robot with the ice cream cone. And then
Mhm.
I uploaded these three images to Runway, and then I animated them. And then they had this very subtle movement. And then I put them together and made a 2-second clip. And it worked nicely. And it's a very basic, very easy workflow. Nothing is complicated about it, but you can generate something very beautiful.
Definitely, definitely. Your last movie is super beautiful. Like when I see starts things starts to changing, like in all scenes, like, oh, this is so nice.
Yeah.
It was quite a nice idea. Yeah, yeah, I love it.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
And Marty, how do you see this like tech being applied on the mainstream, or like how fast or this will come to agencies or to Hollywood? Like how do you see this coming to mainstream and how fast?
Well, the thing is that me and a friend, we are about to start a company. We are creating a company for AI generated content, for AI generated commercials. And as far as I understand, in Germany, there are not many competitors. And we have been talking to advertising agencies and film production companies and advertising film production companies in Germany and then all over the world with US-based companies. My understanding is that not many film productions are already facing this AI challenge. There are a few out there, really big ones, big players, and they are all working on creating ads by the push of a button. But at the same time, they need people to talk to the client, to sell this technology to the client, and to understand what the client wants. Because then just pushing the button and generating an ad is not the challenge. It is creating the right ad, the ad fitting the client's needs.
Mhm.
And I think that many film productions who are in AI now, they need these creators, directors, art directors, person to understand what can be generated, what should be shot, and then what maybe should be done in old school VFX 3D way. So this is my feeling when we talk about the top-notch film productions who are in AI right now. But I think the majority is not really interested in that. When I talk to my colleagues, directors of photography, many of them are clinging to the old school way of shooting. They are not interested in generating a film with AI tools. they are more into the regular way. They are more into what they learned. And I think I can completely understand this, but I think it's a very dangerous way of not acknowledging that there's a very, very powerful coming up. It's like the leap from theater to film. There
Mhm.
is only way how you can tell a story. And I think everybody who is a storyteller should start approaching it. But I think in the film industry, it's not really there yet.
In the end, it's all about the story, right? It's not about the tool. You
Exactly.
can do with paper clips and you can do whatever you want. And I think
Exactly.
it's just one more tool where we can tell stories, right?
Exactly.
I, I
Exactly.
I personally see this coming, for example, to Hollywood movies or things like that. I think this will come in layers. First, they
Yeah.
will start to add small layers here and
Yeah.
there, mostly since they are very expensive to shoot,
Yeah.
location or crew and stuff like that, or since they are very risky to shoot, or yeah, very hard to shoot for a
Yeah.
reason. I think they will I don't know. That's what I see. They will start to add this slice it also because it will save them a lot of money and it will
Yeah.
save them a lot of time. And maybe there will be some disclaimer here and there. Okay, some scene on these movies where use AI for FX or something like that. But I see this like being added in very thin layers in these big productions to save cost and time.
Yeah.
But they will get slowly getting wider and wider and wider.
Yeah.
At
Yeah.
some point, they was okay. We need to do one just with this. And I think when this they arrive, the tools there will be mature enough, right? They will
Yeah.
be more realistic, they will be more
Exactly.
sharp and less morphs and stuff like that. But that's
Exactly.
that's
And
how
in
I see it.
yeah, I think the same. And maybe in 4 years' time, at least the advertising industry, the advertising film industry will be upside down. It will be completely different. I
Mhm.
think I think it will be there. There will be just like maybe a very small amount of commercials will still be shot, like as if you buy a very expensive handmade crafted item where
Hipster.
you want to have this manufactured vibe, but a vast majority of content, and that brings us back to the teenagers watching loads of content, consuming loads of content, a vast majority of content will be generated. And
Yeah,
I think
that's
that's
funny.
fine. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
fine
yeah.
because it's just going to be out there for maybe a day or 4 hours. I mean, I have shot commercials for social media only, and it felt a little bit overpowered. You were standing there knowing this commercial will just be aired for 2 days. You didn't have the money for a great talent, but you
Mhm.
were shooting it because there was no other way of creating videos, content for the client.
Yeah.
And then turning this over to now saying, okay, we just want to sell our product and we just need a film for 1 day or for 4 hours. Let's generate it. I think this is fitting to the role this film has to play. Shooting feels a little bit
Mhm.
overpowered for this kind of content my
Mhm.
kids consume every day.
Yeah,
For
it's
sure.
another funny story also. I'm still working. I was working on the 15 minutes movie,
Mhm.
which it's complicated. For example, during this process, Runway update their engine was much sharper, so I need to remake 92 clips. So I say, okay, I need to break this. I will break this in 3 episodes,
Mhm.
because things go so fast and everything, and that will take like months to finish. So it in the end will be a web series of 3 episodes with the first season, but I want to make more seasons of it. And but what I wanted to say is like I share a teaser of this work with a friend of mine from Berlin, and I share with him 7 minutes, and I say, hey man, take a look on this. What do you think? And then he like, did you did all of this by yourself? And I say like, yes. How long it took you? I say like 1 month or something, and say, okay, so like there will be an explosion of like content production because if you did this it by yourself, like I would never expect that. Like other friend I show first, like I sit here, I want to show you something. Put him on the chair here,
Amazing. Yeah.
and then he thought it was some CGI from video game. He thought
Yeah,
I was showing him some video games, a new game or something. Say, no, it's a like short movie. I'm doing like science fiction and again like same reaction. Like you did this by yourself, alone, everything, the sound, yeah. And how long it took you? I'm working for around 2 months to make this like 7 minutes, like. And he was also the same reaction, like, okay,
nice.
like what's gonna happen, like. And I
Yeah,
think
Mhm.
that's like there will be an like, explosion of
yeah,
content
exactly,
being
exactly.
produced, right? And I just want, when you were talking about your friends from advertisement and everything, I also work in advertisement for some years. um but like, do you think that most of the haters today are those who are afraid to lose their jobs?
Oh, um, the thing is, I have not had so many encounters with haters, to be honest. So I really can't say who they are. Um, I think there will be people losing their jobs, obviously. It's going to be a big transformation. Um, I hope it will just be a shift where people have different jobs. But at the same time, I mean, if we generate films, then obviously uh, there will be less amounts of films need to be shot then. So I think there will be people losing their jobs in advertising agencies and in the film industry. Um, my feeling is that the haters are more maybe people who are left behind in a way, but they can at the same time switch quickly. I think if the technology becomes more approachable, I think there will be less and less haters.
Yeah, I
Because
had the
now,
same talk with my friend just on the
yeah,
bar 2 days ago. He's a
yeah,
creative director, and he was just telling a story. We are all talking about this transition, right? Like, okay,
yeah,
like these people who will lose their jobs, how fast they will be trained on something else. And he was telling me that he thinks it will be fine, that will be fast. And he was telling, he sent Mid-Journey to a creative director, a friend of him, which is like, I think, 55 years old. And he needed to like install Discord, show him Discord. He never used Discord and stuff like that.
yeah,
So
yeah,
he did everything, and then but then like in 4 days, his friend was sending him like
exactly,
images of like
exactly,
jets, and he likes like
exactly,
jets and fly and planes and stuff. And so
exactly,
like I said, took him four
exactly,
days to just do it and enjoy
exactly.
it. And
And
like,
I think when one of the big players like Adobe or some company will bring out an app which meshes up, which mixes up all the tools we are using now separately. Like we are using lip sync tools, we're using upscale tools, we're using generating tools, we're using animation tools. If one of these big companies brings out one easy to use tool, then I think more and more people will come to the AI world. And I think this will happen. There will be
100%.
there will be one powerful tool coming out. And this is something where why I'm a bit reluctant. Why? Because I think, okay, maybe I don't need to learn every tool coming out now because one of the big players will incorporate all these tools into one very easily usable tool. And then all these haters maybe will be onboarded.
Definitely. Yeah, it's a matter of time in the end.
Yeah.
And I have a strong feeling that we are still using AI, which is a completely new tool, to do things the old ways. So we will,
Yeah.
in the next years, discover new ways
Yes.
of using technology, like interactive movies that people will choose. Like, for example, the creative director or director now will work on the characters, on the style of the movie, but and create an initial story, and then the viewer itself will choose where the story goes and create his own story with this base thing. Like it's just a thought, of course, but I see a lot of this type of interactive things happening and growing really fast. So I think it's a little bit up to us start thinking what different things we can create with it.
no,
Like
that's a great point. And other
Absolutely
friend
great.
brought
Yeah.
me to me something which I didn't thought about. What's gonna happen when the guys from Hollywood start to play with these tools. So the guy, he is already a movie director, the guy who's already like amazing script writer. Like what's gonna happen when these guys start to play with these tools? I think will be
Exactly.
also interesting to see.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's like as if we've been in a theater for hundreds of years, being used to watching a play from only one perspective, the wide shot, as a viewer. And then suddenly someone comes up and says, now you can record it with a camera. And we put the camera on the very seat we're sitting, recording the whole play in a wide shot, and saying, okay, that's now the camera using the play to record. But then suddenly people start to understand we can get close to the actors. We can make close-ups. We can make counter shots, reverse shots, top shots. And that's what's going to happen with AI. Now we are just, as you said, we are now just doing it the old way with a new tool. But soon there will be completely unimaginable ways how we can tell stories.
100%. I think it's quite interesting and quite powerful.
Yeah.
It's an exciting time to be alive.
Yes, yes,
Definitely.
yes. Yeah. I need some sleep now and then, but yeah.
For sure. And talking about a little bit of your next projects, do you have anything planned yet? Anything that you can comment about? Or what is your
Well,
desire for the next project?
well, the biggest project right now is putting up the company. A friend of mine and me, we are, as I said, we are creating a company. We are founding a company for AI content. We're talking to advertising agencies. I'm gonna go to a big advertising agency in Germany, one of the biggest in Europe. We're gonna talk about a cooperation for an advertising film. And I think this is my project for the next months. We're talking to lawyers because we need to onboard a lawyer who's going to check every film we're going to create. So there's not going to be any copyright infringements, that we're going to be safe because we don't want the client to be liable for it. We have to be liable for it.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the same if you are a musician, you work for advertising, and the client asks you, can you do a sound alike of a Madonna song? And you, as the musician, you do the sound alike, but you're liable. If the client gets sued, then they just pass it on because you have to put in a song that is close to the Madonna song, but not a copy of it. And
Yeah.
this is pretty much the same if we are going to generate commercials from now on with AI. We have to talk to lawyers and check everything we send out before we send it to the client. Yeah, and then there's all this bureaucracy thing going on in Germany now. So I'm actually now knee deep, chin deep in talking to lawyers and talking to my accountant. And yeah, we are in the middle of founding this company, and we already talked to clients. So it's looking good, and I hope 2024 will be the year where we will be the first AI film production of Germany.
Really
That's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
good luck for you, and we're looking forward to see your creations.
Yes. Oh my God,
Definitely.
yes, me
No,
too.
you're very creative and you're good vibes. Again, I'm always repeating that. I really enjoy.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
yeah, we are approaching the end of this like pleasant conversation with you. I will shut
Thank you.
out my last question, and I will give one bullet to Mauricio shot the last one of him. So what do you would say to anyone who's trying to start on this universe of AI filmmaking? Any advice? What you will tell them?
Oh, well, it's just the same with me. Just start playing. I mean, it's a very cheesy thing to say, but just start playing and don't give up if your first generations don't look good. I mean, we all did so many shitty stuff at the beginning, which never saw the light of day. I'm very glad that nobody saw my first tries, and don't give up and just stick to it. I mean, it's so wonderful to, so magical still after all these centuries. It's so magical to see a moving image. It's so magical to see that you generated something which is moving, and this moment is something which is uncomparable to anything. So yeah, just start playing and don't give up. Very cheesy. I'm sorry.
No, it's the best tips for sure, for sure. And it's incredible how much stories are there yet to be told, right? This I think is the
Yeah.
thing that most impressed me. So
Yeah,
Never
exactly.
ends. Yeah, it's infinite.
Yeah. So as we're getting to the end of this, is there any place that we can find you? I don't know, giving any speech or any other podcast or wherever you will appear that we can follow you? And if you want to share your social media here, the ones that are more active, you're pretty welcome. Thanks so much for this hour of great talking and this great inspiration. You are a great inspiration for me and Odair, and for sure for a lot of people that will be listening
Likewise.
to us. And
Likewise.
yeah.
Yes, thank you so much. It's been a great honor being invited here. And yeah, I'm on Twitter as Martin Haerlin. I'm on Instagram as M Haerlin, I think. I'm on LinkedIn as Martin Haerlin. I'm there with my real name. So you will find me. I'm the guy who is snapping his fingers or sometimes using his stick right here next to me on my desk. There's the
Look,
stick.
awesome.
Nice.
That's
So I
awesome.
didn't use it in my last film because I didn't know what to do with it. So I didn't want to. It's again about playing.
It's
So yeah.
become your signature.
Yes, yes. It's really fun bringing such a archaic piece of wood into
To talk
this.
about new technology is very ironic,
Exactly,
right?
into this new technology. This is really fun. And I think this is the most important thing if I look at my whole piece or body of work. I don't want to make it look like something difficult because it isn't. It
Mhm,
should look like
mhm.
fun. That's why I bring my stick, or that's why I snap my finger. I don't want it to look like it's super difficult and you have to learn 1,000 things, because I didn't learn 1,000 things. It's just about the story, and then it's about your curiosity and your playfulness.
Yeah, cool. So I think it's a great way to finish this conversation. Thanks again, Martin, for being here with us. It's a pleasure. And just that you were saying that this is magical, right? So I just finished this first podcast with this quote, which I really enjoy. I will not cite or mention with exactly